Welcome you all to Believers IAS Academy. In this today's topic of the day discussion, we will be discussing about the BIOE3 policy, which is the biotechnology for environment, economy, and the employment policy. So why is it a news? Because recently it completed, the BIOE3 policy completed 1 year since it was launched, and on the very same particular day, in order to commemorate this 1 year, the ministry, the Union Minister of Science and Technology, also ensured that they launched India's first national biofoundry network. So in this today's particular video, we will understand what BIOE3 policy is, the need, the advantages, and also in the end we will try and solve one prelims question also. So moving forward, even before we try and understand what BIOE3 policy is, let us first understand what bioeconomy is as a concept, and also its role in India's growth. Okay, so coming to the definition, it is the simple use of natural resources or the renewable biological resources to produce certain useful things like food, energy, medicines, and industrial products, which comes handy in our day-to-day lives. So now, talking about the significance as to why we have to have a bioeconomy in the first place, because it ensures that it promotes sustainability. As in how? Sustainability by making sure that these items which are produced by the renewable biological or natural sources, make sure that they create less pollution, and also they ensure that it reduces the dependence on the fossil fuels, and also it promotes innovation in a way that this enables future technologies to grow, and also at the end it also ensures that it aids economic growth through the creation of more jobs, and also making sure that more number of manufacturing units are established in terms of these items. For example, we will study all the key sectors that are related with respect to bioeconomy. So the few are the biopharma and the biomedicine, the biomedical, the bioagriculture, and the bioindustrial, and also the bio research. So now, as a part of the biopharma and the biomedical, this is that sector which uses biology in order to produce certain medicines. For example, the famous Covaxin, and also another brilliant example is the insulin, which famously gets used for diabetes patient. And talking about the bioagriculture sector, so it uses biology mostly to create certain variants of seeds which helps the farmers. For example, we have the BT cotton, right? And also this is that sector which utilizes the renewable biological sources to create certain pesticides which are free from harmful chemicals, and also it has applications in bioindustrial units as well, where this employs the use of biological natural resources, especially the manufacturing of bioplastics without the use of petroleum, but by the usage of sugarcane and corn, right? And last but not the least, the bio research, especially talking about the research industry which utilizes the microbes, especially for example the recent problems that we have seen with respect to oil spillage, the oil spills in the ocean, right? So certain microbes are utilized in order to ensure in order to curb this problem of oil spills that are presently happening. So all of these sectors fall under the bioeconomy and holistically under the concept of the usage of biological resources to produce certain essential things which are useful for day-to-day need. Now, talking about the India's growth, India's total worth of bioeconomy in 2014 was 10 billion US dollars, which in the year 2024 is currently at 165.7 billion dollars, right? And this particular number is not less because it contributes to 4.25% of India's total GDP growth as per the recent India Bioeconomy Report 2025, which clearly denotes the potential of this particular sector. And also another important thing to keep in mind is that India also has set a target that it has to reach a whooping $300 billion. The entire size of the bioeconomy of India, the target is $300 billion by 2030. So this is about the bioeconomy with respect to India. Now moving on, we will study about the BIOE3 policy, which is the topic of the news. And talking about the aim, this is that particular policy which tries to develop and also commercialize the bio-based technologies and products using certain bio-enablers through the establishment of certain bio-enablers like the BioAI hubs, the biofoundries and the manufacturing hubs. And this functions under, or let's say the key focus is on 6 thematic sectors. One is the bio-based chemicals and enzymes. Second is the functional foods and smart proteins. Third is the precision biotherapeutics. Fourth, climate resilient agriculture, carbon capture and utilization, and last is the futuristic marine and space research. So now if you see, the BIOE3 policy tries to cater to various different sectors, starting from bio-based chemical and enzyme production to all the way to, with respect to the development of futuristic marine and space research. So now you can understand how wide the BIOE3 policy is. The area that it covers is very huge, starting from having key focus on bio-based chemical and enzymes production institutions all the way till the futuristic space research. So this makes a very promising, or this paints a very promising picture for this developing India. And also it is important to know how this implementation happens in a very productive way to make sure that the benefits of this policy are reaped promptly. Now talking about the implementation, it is the Department of Biotechnology, the DBT, under the Ministry of Science and Technology. Okay, so this is what is required from the examination point of view to know about the policy. Main thing to keep in mind is the ministry from which it is implemented, and all the key focus areas, and bioeconomy as a definition, what that is and its significance, the key sectors. And overall you also have to keep in mind few important statistics like the one we discussed before. And last, at the end, especially from the mains point of view, it is absolutely important to study the need and the advantages of this BIOE3 policy. So now talking about the need, it reduces the dependency on the imports of biotech products because of the indigenous production of all the biotech products that we spoke about in the previous slides. And it also achieves self-reliance in advanced biotech solutions as a part of Atmanirbhar Bharat, and also it tries to address the climate change and sustainability challenges as it ensures to adopt the usage of more renewable sources, which ultimately reduces the pollution as we in a way reduce the dependence on the usage of the fossil fuels. Now talking about the advantages, it boosts the indigenous manufacturing and innovation. It generates employment opportunities as we spoke about the different sectors that it tries to address or that it tries to push, right? It creates more employment opportunities, and in a way it even strengthens collaborations with the states and global institutions at the end to make, to put India at a state where India is trying to become, or India will become, the global bioeconomy leader. So even before we end the video or go to the prelims question that we discussed, we will try and understand the recent achievements by the BIOE3 policies. So the first one is the launch of Biofoundry network, which we discussed in the very first slide, which also involves 6 key institutions. Next is, it also inaugurated the India's first biomanufacturing institute at Mohali, and also Recent, with Assam, a memorandum of understanding was signed for the establishment of a BIOE3 cell, which enhances the center-state coordination, and also it has even created over a dozen of research initiatives in emerging biotech areas. So these, pretty much show or depict that these are like the pillars of one of the pillars of India's growth story, which makes it absolutely important to not leave it ignored, right? So that is important for the policy makers to keep in mind, and also ensure that right implementation is taken care, to make sure that the potential of this particular sector, especially the bioeconomy or the biotechnology, is encashed properly. So even before we end the video, let's try and solve one prelims question. Consider the following statements about India's bioeconomy. First statement, it focuses on the use of renewable biological resources for producing food, energy and industrial goods. Second statement, the BIOE3 policy is implemented by the DBT, the Department of Biotechnology under the Ministry of Science and Technology. Third statement, climate resilient agriculture and carbon capture are part of the priority areas under BIOE3. Which of the following statements are correct? Use the comment section below to leave your answers. Anyway, that is all for today's video. I hope you have liked the video. So please do consider subscribing Believers IAS YouTube channel, and for more such informative content, please keep watching the channel. Signing off, this is Madan Gopal. Have a beautiful day.